Hello, OrbisX family. Got a little update for you here that's a highly demanded and pretty awesome one. You can now set a default commission for your staff whenever you're making invoices, which is pretty cool. And you can override it on the fly if you need to, of course. Maybe they earned a little more or a little less in a particular instance. You can change that on the fly. So how things worked before is you have this section here on an invoice, so sales reps commission, and you could basically choose a staff member. So, we'll take this one here, and I've set it to a default commission of 2% in the back end. I'll show you where you can change that as well. But if you haven't set that, then your default is going to be 0. So it'll just show up like this, and it'll load 0%, and then you have to specify, 5% or whatever they make. It'll update here and tell you what they make on the fly as well. So if I change this to 10%, for example, it's now $14.50. To change your defaults, we'll start there. I'll open up settings, and I'm going to scroll down to my invoices and payments section. And on the right-hand side here, or if you're on mobile, scroll down towards the bottom, you're going to see default commission and default commission type. That's where you can set the percentage or fixed amount. So if I do fixed amount, it changes it. So that's where you're going to set that, and then choose whether it's percentage or a fixed amount. And that'll set your default. You don't have to use a default, but it does help for sure. So I'm going to go back now to, we're back on our invoice. You can see this is the invoice here. So under sales reps commissions, this is where you have your staff list. This is a demo account. I have some users in here. But what's new is that, and what's really cool is you can actually go to your user list. So I'll click manage users under admin. And from there, you can still toggle on and off who can and can't receive commissions, but now you can also set defaults. So if I click on defaults, for example, on this restricted account, I have it right now set to $6, but I could change that, and let's say they're doing really well and they're getting a bump up and they're now at $10. So I hit save. Now that's going to be their new default. So if I click default $10, okay, that's great. And let's turn back on test for now, and let's set this one to a percent. So it's at percent, but let's change this to 20%, for example. All right, this guy, top salesperson, they're making a lot because they're pumping out those sales. All right, now if we go back to our invoice, so remember this one here, this was set to $10 for restricted, and then this one was set to 20%. That's for the test. And we'll go back here to invoices. I'll click on an invoice, and so now what happens is instead of having to remember what they make or having to type it out, all you have to do is simply select them. So we'll select the restricted first. So I select it, and then boom, there's our $10. Automatically populates. That's fantastic. Now if I add a staff member, we'll add the test one who's supposed to get 20%. We click it, and sure enough, there it is, 20%. So it's going to factor in the percentages that each should make from the invoice. Which is pretty cool. So it defaults for you. You don't have to worry about it, and it'll just take care of all of that for you. So essentially, and it'll loop through them as you add, more. Now, of course, let's say you've already saved this and they're saved. You won't be able to edit the staff member once it's saved. You have to delete it and then create a new record. And that's to avoid accidentally changing someone's, thing, because the chances of you accidentally changing this record here versus, having to go over here and click delete and then remove it, it's a lot different, of course, right? So pretty cool. You can now set a default amount. And if they don't have anything set, like I said, it goes back to the default, which I have right now set to 2%. So you can do that. So selecting whoever, whichever staff member will take their defaults if you have that set. And if you don't have it set, it just goes to either 0 or it goes to your default that you have in the settings. All right, enjoy, guys.